On Sundays, we used to go to temple in boarding school. And one day I wore a jeans that was ripped from both sides, like bell-bottom style, and I ripped some bottom of it. And I really liked that jeans, and I wore that jeans that day. The moment I entered the hall, the priest called me and told me to go and change my clothes and put a kurta pajama, a white shirt and a white pants, like a loose fitting. So I went back and I did not had a kurta pajama. So I had a white t-shirt which was like a personal training t-shirt and the pants that I used to wear to school. So I wore that. The t-shirt had some stains on the shoulder. So I wore a school blazer. So I went back and again he came to me while I was standing in between the two sections. This side was the girls sitting and this side was my friends sitting, boys. And he told me to take the blazer off and I took the blazer off and he saw the stains. And in front of the females, he insulted me about my stains. I don't remember exactly, but I remember feeling very insulted at that time because I was conscious of myself, how I looked and what sort of clothes I used to wear. So I walked outside and I went back to the hostel and I tried to sleep because I was tired, but I could not sleep. And I decided not to go to that temple anymore. And I decided to choose a chore, which was folding bed sheets of 200 beds. And when the hunger came, I used to have Maggies and I boiled the water and I dipped the Maggie in there and some masala on top and I would eat that and my hunger would go away. I really enjoyed that delicious food because it was only one day that you used to get. Normally it was a different kind of food which is not prepared deliciously. That day food was delicious. So I did not go to the temple and I often wondered what kind of God it is that teaches to insult others. What kind of God it is that I cannot be who I want to be. I have to dress a certain way to come and see the God. What kind of God is that does not respect? Because we used to taught to be respectful, to respect teachers. As soon as the teacher comes, we used to get up, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And the very place of God is not teaching anything about respect. It wants to meet me a certain way. There are conditions. And I decided that I don't want a God like that. That teaches to insult others, to create differences. And I used to love, there was a milk, almond milk that we used to buy in canteen. Not much money left because all the money was spent in few days. So I used to buy that for 2-3 rupees, I don't remember, instead of giving the money to the temple or putting the money in front of the God that they showed me about God. And my friends would often say, and teachers would say, you should put some money there. And I say, I don't have it, but they tell me that we saw you drinking it. And I did not understand that I cannot drink, that's something I want. God wants my money. What kind of God it is that they told me to go inside and ask for whatever you want, and I ask every time that I want that drink because I really loved it, it was delicious. But I cannot do it, instead I have to pay the money. It was clear to me that I don't want God at all, because they showed me God, that dress up, that book. That's what I was bowing to, and these preachers were telling me that they have learned something from the book, and from that learning they are disciplining, they are training me or making me a better person. So I've decided I don't want to be that better person. I don't want nothing to do with that kind of God. So I stopped going. I would eat Maggie and fold sheets. And I often wonder that God does not tell them that one child is without a food from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., the only food we used to get in the evening. They have no warmth in their heart to bring food. If I don't want to go, that is fine. At least they are better than me. They are wiser than me. At least bring me that food that I enjoy. I have no other food. They don't even know that I have Maggie that I eat that day. They go through the room because there was a tabla man, a guy used to play her like a music harmonium, and they would not stop and bring food, bring prasad for me. They had no softness in their heart, and it was becoming clear that I want nothing to do with that kind of God. So since that, I stopped going to temples. Occasionally I went when I came here to Australia, because to fill up boredom. But I stopped going for God. I don't want a God that divides, makes one group, then makes one group, and then says fight. I never wanted a God that creates third group and fourth group and says now you join. It never made sense to me that how can God do that? How can God create jealousy? How can my relatives that are going every Sunday, they do seva, they do worship, they help, they install these tents that they serve people, and as soon as they come face to face with each other, they are treating each other like they love them from the bottom of their heart, and as soon as they are separate, behind their back they are saying completely different things. What kind of God teaches that? What kind of God teaches a husband to fight with the wife, to bash the wife, to pull the hair off the scalp? What kind of God teaches a wife to control a husband, to tell him that he must obey her, must do whatever she wants to do? What kind of God it is that tells neighbors that you should fight because of a problem in the boundary, they have no way to solve that. What kind of God it is that teaches that you serve your kids with ghee, with butter, but you don't serve others' kid that visit with ghee and put little bit ghee? There is a partiality, and they are dressed up in religious clothes, and I have no way that they are asking me to wear a turban, to be a Sardar. But I am seeing a lot of Sardars in my life, including my own family, but that has not changed anything. So what is the point of me wearing a turban or not wearing a turban? I am just like that. Without the turban, it does not change anything. That is why my childhood was rebellious. I never fit in. These are the reasons. And the fact is, what is known as God is not God. They are notions, concept about a God that you have been taught accidentally, that God has become your God, that there is a God somewhere outside of you. God is not one thing. God is not a person. God cannot be seen. God cannot be experienced outside. It is internal experience, experiencing itself. Just like you take a drop out from the ocean. That drop might look like a drop, small shape, and ocean is large. But the essence of that water is the same as ocean. The essence is the same in all beings and everything that is seen. And that essence itself is what is called God, or by many other names, including Allah, Vaheguru, Source, Divine, many names. But that has no name of its own. And all the words don't become God. You write a word, G-O-D, on a paper, that word does not become God. It is just a name pointing to something that you don't know and you have not experienced yet. And those books point to the same thing, all of them. All scriptures, all knowledge points to the same thing. They might be coming from Sanskrit, Hindi, English, does not matter. Bible, Psalm 36:10. Be still and know that I am God. Stillness reveals God. Bible, Psalm 139:1. O Lord, you have searched me and know me. God is known inwardly, not outwardly. Bhagavad Gita. Knowing the self is not separate from knowing God. The knower and the known are one. Bhagavad Gita. Field and knower. True knowledge is not just knowledge, it is knowing the knower. Self-knowledge is spiritual knowledge. Upanishads. The inner self of all is Brahman. Knowing the self is knowing ultimate reality. Buddha. Peace comes from within. Awakening happens through inner awareness. Buddha. No one saves another. The path is walked inward. Guru Granth Sahib. Jeko apo jana agge gaya na soe. One who knows the self has gone beyond everything. There is nothing higher than self-realization. Islamic Sufi saying, whoever knows himself knows God. God is revealed through self-knowing. Jain perspective, Mahaviras emphasize self-knowing and inner discipline are as steps toward liberation. Just worshipping a book, a physical book, words, does not reveal what the words point to. If I am thirsty and I repeat water, 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 I don't get water. I am just repeating what is called water. I am not discovering what water is. I am not drinking water. Or if you have a map in the car and the map is saying turn left, but you don't turn left, you stay just listening to the map over and over, day and night, listening to the map, and you want to go somewhere, you want to discover God, you want to discover what is called God, but you don't take the step. That listening is not helpful. It is like if I want to be a doctor and I got some books that has knowledge how to be doctor, how to perform a surgery, how this body works, the science behind everything, that this body is designed as. If I just bow to the book every day, day, night, evening, and don't understand what the words are saying. I read about heart, but I never see the heart. I never do a physical operation, and I don't have any practical. I will not become a doctor by just bowing to the book. I have to read, I have to understand, I have to practically do things, and then I don't need the books. I don't need the knowledge because I have become doctor. But now I have given books which are in Sanskrit and I only know English, or I know any other language, but I have given a different book that is in different language. I want to read, but I don't understand. So you need translators. They will translate those words into what they understand. That is their understanding, not actually what is written. So your understanding will be their understanding. If they have not discovered God, you will not discover God. So you need simple English, plain language, English or whatever language you understand, you need that language. And that language, simple, you understand. And then through that understanding, it points to where to look or not to look. God is not something that you see outside, things that you see with your senses, with your touch, with your feelings, with your... That is not God. This is all creation of mind, including the notion of gods is creation of mind itself. Including the word God is part of that creation. It points, but once a word becomes a notion, you already know that there is a God. If you already know that there is a God, then what you don't know, you cannot search. You will go to hell, heaven. You ask these questions to these people, but they have no answers, so they block your intelligence. Because they don't know, so the only thing is give you an answer that you can't question anymore. You ask me a question, and I am smart enough, I say, you only will know after death, you will wake up again, you do good deeds, everything. That means that I have outsmarted you. After death, you will not be there, I am not be there. Only thing I am doing is I am proving that I know. That is the ego way of knowing. You cannot know it, they cannot know it. God is everything and everyone. And the only way to know is to look within. And you cannot look within unless you know that these directions that you have been looking at is not the right directions, and only when you really desire to look. Because if you really don't want to find God, does not matter what happens, you will not be ready to look. You will have no time, no space to look. If you have discovered that you know how to play violin, and playing a violin removes all the fears, all problems, death, birth, everything, you have discovered it. You come to me because you see me suffering and you want me to play that violin. You can try all you like, but if I'm not ready to play it, I will not learn. You are doing it for love or for, I have no problems, please, you also try to play it. Once you play it, you watch. But if I'm not ready, I will not learn. Because this path is a pathless path. It requires nothing from you. It requires nothing at all from the mind. It requires no notions, no concept, nothing at all. It is like saying to me, you play this violin, but you can't do anything else. Now there is a problem because I am taking care of my kids' mortgage. I have to go tomorrow to work, make the money, all that sort of stuff. So I'm not interested because I lose everything. And that is the point. What is temporary, you will lose. And what cannot be lost is already there. The false in the clear window will go. These temporary things will go anyway. You cannot take them. You are working from day to night to polish an image of you which cannot remain. You will not remain as you are. But what you actually are, which you don't know, remains forever. And once you know this, it outweighs what you know than what you don't know about yourself. And once that is clear, that what you have not discovered does not die, it's not bound to this body, it is not attached to this body, it is not this body, it cannot be diseased, it cannot be cut into anything, then the interest rises. Because you'd want to be disease free. You don't want to just remain bones. You don't want to be attacked every day by fear. You don't want to live a life that something happens to someone and you don't know what to do. You cry, you think it is dead, and you feel you are going to die. So this is going beyond everything, beyond birth, beyond death, beyond every single thing you can imagine. And that is already there. You just need to have the time, have the patience and knowledge so you can see for yourself, not believe anyone,